The clerk will please designate the amendment.
Amendment offered by Mr. Flake of Arizona.
Pursuant to the order of the House of today, the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Flake, and a member opposed will each be recognized and control 5 minutes. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment would prohibit $1 million and reduce the cost of the bill by a consistent amount from being used to fund an earmark for the ACE program at the Maricopa County Community Colleges. I'm often criticized for meddling in the congressional district of other members in making attempts to make federal spending on earmarks transparent, but that accusation would be unfounded with this amendment. As the saying goes, all politics is local. And this amendment makes that a truism with a portion of Maricopa County within the boundaries of the district that I represent. So I'm sure the sponsor of this earmark will be proud to tell you the Achieving a College Education program was started in 1988 at one of the community colleges in the Maricopa system and now has spread to all 10 of its institutions. According to the ACE program website, the program is a partnership between community colleges and local high schools that was designated to reduce dropouts in at-risk high schools, and transition them to community colleges and university studies. It would be foolish and not truthful for me to stand here and say the program is not making a valuable contribution to Maricopa County. However, the criteria for receiving another federal handout of $1 million cannot and should not rest simply on whether a program is doing valuable things. I'm certain that many, if not all, of the hundreds and hundreds of community colleges across the country, there are important programs that are making valuable contributions to their communities. Surely the taxpayer shouldn't have to fund all of those programs. So how do we choose? How does Congress decide which important, valuable programs get funded with taxpayer dollars and which do not? The willingness of members of Congress to give federal earmarks or federal handouts to a select few has led to more than $5 billion in earmarks in this appropriation bill, a bill that is more than $1 billion over the President's request and has garnered a veto threat because of it. In addition, this earmark is focused on education and raises the question of why it is being funded out of the account of the Office of the Administrator of the National Nuclear Security Administration. It's my understanding that federal funding for the ACE program came through the Department of Housing and Urban Development in previous years. Other earmarks in the account of the Office of the Administrator for Educational Programs seem to highlight math and science education. While components of the ACE program highlight math, science, technology, and enterprise, there appears to be only one facet of the program that is not the sole purpose at all. In fact, other components also appear to highlight health services, business, industry, technology, community service, adult education, personal finance, and other areas. I would submit to my colleagues again that if simply having a program that makes a valuable contribution were enough to warrant being awarded millions of dollars, the Treasury would soon be empty. Further, I would submit that an earmark of this variety is misplaced in the Energy and Water Appropriation Bill and should at the very least be considered in the upcoming Labor, Health, and Human Services Appropriation Bill. I reserve the balance of my time.
Purposes, gentleman from Indiana, rise.
Chairman, I would rise in opposition and claim the time.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
And I would yield time to the gentleman from Arizona, a member of the subcommittee, and my colleague, Mr. Pastor.
Mr. Chairman, as a sponsor of this program, as my colleague from Arizona has told you, it has been in existence for a number of years, and it has received in the past federal funding. And as it received the federal funding, we have expanded this program to all of the community colleges in the Maricopa County Community College system. My colleague asked the question, why in DOE and why the Office of Administrator? Around 4 years ago, maybe it was 5 years ago, Department of Energy, through the Secretary then, decided that the Department of Energy was going to get involved more in the educational programs dealing with historically black colleges and also with Spanish-speaking colleges and programs, and that was to ensure that there would be a stream of people into the math and science. As you know, our president has a number of times emphasized, and it has his own initiatives through the Department of Energy that would help recruit and recruit students in the math and science classes. And so when the Secretary of Energy made that commitment, knowing that that program was available to colleges and universities, a presentation was made to the Department of Energy of whether this program, ACE, would be one that they had an interest in, and in one of the hearings, it was brought up. And so the Department of Energy, with the board and administrators of Maricopa County Community Colleges system, began negotiating and set up this program. And the intent is to serve minority students that are enrolled in schools throughout Arizona, to assist them in a path of math and science. And it's in cooperation with the community colleges, because they're encouraging these students to go through the community college system, and then the partnership takes them to the university. As this program was presented to me 3 years ago by Maricopa County Community Colleges and was presented to the Department of Energy, there's many success stories, and it's a program that needs to continue. The reason it's in DOE is because that's where the program is, and that's where the monies are allocated for this type of program. And with that, I'll yield back to the chairman.
And I would reserve the balance. Gentleman reserves the balance of his time. Gentleman from Arizona.
Thank you. I have a great deal of respect for the gentleman who just spoke, Mr. Pastor, and I know of his concern for education, his commitment there. The point I would make, again, is that there are many valuable programs out there. There are thousands and thousands of community colleges out there. And I would think that we simply have to stop saying, all right, we're going to fund this one or we're going to fund that one, without some kind of criteria that should be set by somebody else other than members of Congress. Because we're in a position where it happens politically. Now, that's not to say that decisions by federal agencies aren't political. They often are. That's the responsibility of oversight, for us to step in and say, you ought to have this criteria or this merit-based selection process or this competitive grant process. But for us to say, we don't like the way the federal agencies do it, so we're going to do it ourselves, I would think is not the wisest course. So with that, I would urge support of the amendment. We simply can't fund all of the programs, the good programs that are out there, and maintain any type of position here in Congress of being equal or being good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. So with that, I would urge support of the amendment and yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. Gentleman from Indiana.
Additional time to the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Pastor.
The program in the Department of Energy is geared to get minority students into a pathway of math and science. I did not write the program. I did not, all I did was a facilitator with the community college system and the Department of Energy. There is an agreement. They have signed an agreement. The agreement was signed 3 years ago between the Department of Energy and the Maricopa Community Colleges. And in that agreement, they have filled out the requirements of the program that the community colleges have to adhere to. And it was an agreement between the Department of Energy and the community college system. And all I did was facilitator between the community college and the Department of Energy. And I would ask my colleagues to reject this amendment, because it's one that assists minority students to achieve a college education. And it's an initiative that the President has put forward, and the Department of Energy has taken on that initiative. And this agreement is between the community college system and the Department of Energy. And I'll yield back to the chairman.
Gentleman yields back the balance of time. All time is yielded back. The question is on the amendment of the gentleman from Arizona. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it, and the amendment does not carry. For what reason does the gentleman from Arizona rise?